Hey, welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It's your boy Marvin. We're going to be rating the Arsenal players today. I'm with Alex the Gunner, one of the producers of the channel as well, Streamline Entertainment. Don't forget to support us. So, Al, just going to be talking about rating the Arsenal players. Just a quick introduction. How do you think the season went?
It was an improvement,
Okay.
a big improvement than coming fifth last season, and obviously 22-23 season was Arsenal have made progress. There was a lot more unity. There was a lot more togetherness in the team. Arteta has built. Obviously, he introduced Sinchenko and
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So
They were good signings for Man City.
and so obviously Saliba came in at the end of the day. I know we've had Saliba, but he's been on loan, so it made a huge difference with those two class signings.
Brilliant. Okay, Al, let's just go through the ratings.
Yeah, I'd give Matt Turner the reserve keeper.
I've seen him twice,
I've
Al.
seen him in a few games.
Yeah.
So I would give him a rating of 6 standard. He's been commanding. He's pulled off some good saves. I'd like to see more of him next season.
Right.
Matt Turner as a goalkeeper. But is he a good backup? I want to see a little bit more. But what I've seen of him, I'd give him a 6. He looks, he seems a good communicator.
Right. Right, brilliant. Let's move on to the number one goalkeeper.
Yeah, Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale I would give Aaron Ramsdale probably I would give him a 8. To be honest, right, he's kept Arsenal in a lot of games with some really important saves at decisive times.
I remember, forgot what actual match it was, Al, and he made about 3 or 4 outstanding saves on his line. He seems to have got better as the season goes on. When he first came to Arsenal, I didn't actually sort of rate him highly, but the last 10 games he's actually won more points for Arsenal than what they lost. I think he's a phenomenal keeper, and I think he's getting better and better.
As I said, I give Aaron Ramsdale an 8. The only thing I find with Aaron Ramsdale is that he can get a little bit overconfident.
Right.
Where Arsenal play the ball out from the back.
Yeah.
So, and obviously they want to start with the goalkeeper. So, pass it back. But sometimes he might try and be a little bit, lose a bit of concentration. And there's been a few times where he's kicked it against the centre forward and scored up for a goal kick, or it could go in the back.
Yeah.
So, and then also, what he's got to learn on is he hasn't saved a penalty yet. Penalty saves is one of his weak points, but all round he is a good keeper.
Yeah.
So I would give his season an 8.
Yeah, that's brilliant. How old is he?
I think he's about 24.
He's still very young. I didn't realise he was that young. Actually, he seems to be around for ages. Right, back four, Al.
Takahiro Tomiyasu. He can play. Tomiyasu can play left back or right back. He's a utility player. One thing about this guy, he's only 24.
Yeah.
I believe he's a Japanese international.
Okay, he hasn't played that many games this season, though, has he?
He has been injured, but I think he got injured around about the last 16 a few months ago with Sporting Lisbon.
Okay.
I think it was it was against Manchester City.
Yeah.
He got injured.
I think the injuries, like I said, probably he didn't get the game time he should have, because I don't think he started that many matches, did he? I think he started a few matches at the start of the season and lost his place due to injuries and different things. At the end of the day, he is a good player. What rating would you give him?
From what I've seen of him, he's a tough tackler. He's very physical. He's good in the air, and I think he's 24. He's got a bit to learn, but I think he really is a very, very good defender. And I think he's only 24. Hopefully he'll stay fit next season. I would give what I've seen of him. I would give Tomiyasu a 7.
Okay, brilliant.
I think the potential
this season.
I think his ceiling is high.
Yeah, but I think we're going by this season, not his overall goal. At the end of the day, so you want to give him? You think he's done everything for a 7 this season.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, your choice. The next one?
Alexander Zinchenko.
Yeah.
Zinchenko has been a revelation. He's an inverted fullback. So what he'll do, he'll make the overload in midfield.
Yeah.
So he loves to step inside to midfield to make an overload in midfield where Arsenal dominate. He's made Arsenal. He's terrific on the ball. He's technically gifted. So with his passing and through balls and stuff like that, and interchanging, he's an Arsenal player, type player. Okay. Very intellect, but defending, he's a bit suspect. Defending one-on-ones.
And what would you rate him?
I would give him. He's been one of our best players. I would give him an 8.
Okay, brilliant. Next defender.
The next defender we are looking at. Let's just go up a bit. Gabriel Magalhaes, the Brazilian.
I don't know a lot about him, to be honest with you.
He's Gabriel Magalhaes. He's the hard man of the defence.
Right.
He is the one that is a physical presence. He's the
But
one.
if he's that good, how come they wasn't starting him?
Gabriel.
Oh, Gabriel, sorry. Yeah, the Brazilian.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. The Brazilian centre back. Oh, he's a wonderful player.
Yeah, he's very physical. He's aggressive. He does make, obviously, he's got a tendency to rush to tackles, but he's improving. I think he's only 25. So there's a bit of improvement. He's played most of the games this season, this guy.
He's been tough.
And
he's been a lot better this season than he was.
He's Arsenal through and through. His heart is with Arsenal. I would definitely give Gabriel Magalhaes a few defensive errors. He has given 1 or 2 penalties away, but he is a committed defender. He's committed to Arsenal. This season, he's made massive improvements because he's been here for a couple of seasons. I'll give him an 8.
All right, brilliant. 8. Let's move on to William Saliba.
William Saliba is a Royal Royce defender.
Great
defender. He's a Rio Ferdinand defender.
Yes.
So he's silky, he's smooth, he can beat players, he can play the ball out, and he's a calm presence to the back four. To the back four. Wonderful defender. It's a shame that the back injury really derailed Arsenal. We really missed him. He's 6'1", I think he's 6'2".
Still growing.
Hopefully 22, I think.
Yeah.
21 or 22. I think we've got I think I'm giving William Saliba probably just been our best defender. I'll give him a 9.
Wow. Yeah, I think he's been superb. Let's go on to Ben White.
Ben White has Ben White is also a utility player. He can play. I think he can play centre back.
So right back as well, isn't he?
Yeah, and right back. I think he's. I think
right
Ben
wing back.
White is a very, very good footballer. Very good footballer. He's been
good passer as well.
He's aggressive. He does lack pace. He does lack a bit of pace, but he makes that up with awareness as well. And he's very good at timing tackles, last ditch tackles. And I give Ben White credit. He's a very, very good defender. He's only 24, 25, so he's reading the game a lot better. So I would give Ben White. He's came in. The only thing with Ben White, he's got to improve probably on his fitness. Yeah. Because he does tire. Because normally when Tommy Else is fit, he comes on. He doesn't last the 90 minutes. But I think he's got his fitness up since Tommy Else has been out. So I'm going to give Ben White. I think he deserves. For me, he's been one of our better defenders. I'll give him an 8.
Okay, brilliant. Let's go on to Kieran Tierney.
Kieran Tierney, he hasn't had the best of season. He can't get into the team. So it's a shame, really. I rate Tierney. When he's come in, he hasn't been really on the ball as much as he has been. Because he's been...
I thought he had a better season last season.
Yeah, he's been caught wanting. But the thing with Tierney, he's got to be playing.
Yeah.
When he plays, obviously, there was a few games he played for Scotland. And he was absolutely superb for them. But I think Kieran Tierney... I'll be surprised if he stays.
Yeah. What's your rating on him now?
I would give Kieran Tierney a 6.
Kieran Tierney 6. Let's move on to the midfield. Thomas Partey.
Thomas Partey, he's done well this season. He died off the last 7-8 games of the season. He was one of our best players 3/4 of the way through the season.
Do you think he was running out of steam?
Injuries. He went on international duty a couple of months ago, and he got pulled an injury, and he had strapping round him for Ghana.
Yeah.
So I will give Thomas Partey's he's a fantastic midfielder. We know he's a Rolls Royce midfielder. We know he's ex Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
I would give Thomas Partey. To be honest, as the season, don't think he's done well as what he should have done. I'm going to be hard on him. I'm going to give him a 7.
7. That's a pretty good score. Let's move on to Martin Odegaard.
Martin Odegaard, he's some of the big games. The majority of the season, he's been superb. But some of the games we really needed him, Man City away, Liverpool away, some of the big games, Man United away, he hasn't always turned up when we've needed him, but he's still young, he's 24, he's got a lot of responsibility.
So basically say he's not dominated games you expect him to do, especially in the big games against the top clubs.
Yeah, he's gifted, but I've got to look at the overall season. He's got 15 goals, 7 assists.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give Martin Odegaard. I think he's done well 3 quarters of the season. He has gone missing in 7 or 8 games. So I just want to see a bit more from him, and he's got the capacity. I'm going to give Martin Odegaard an 8.
Well done. I think he's been one of Arsenal's best players this season. Right, Gabriel Martinelli.
Gabriel Martinelli, he's probably just about my favourite player.
I think he's probably his best season.
I think he's underrated, and I think he's the difference since he's been injured the last couple of games, because he went off, didn't he, against Brighton?
Yeah.
I would give
Gabriel Martinelli.
Martinelli. I would give him a 9. I think he's been absolutely superb, and I think he's one of Arsenal's really unsung heroes, underrated. I'd call it.
I think that he has had his best season. I think when he got injured, when he's got injured at the wrong time for Arsenal. But definitely one of the best. That's a big 9. That is. Jorginho.
Jorginho obviously coming in January at the transfer window. He got the late goal. Took a slight deflection off the keeper and went in against Villa. Yeah. And that was a turning point for him, because bringing him in, we didn't really trust him bringing him in against, obviously from Chelsea, because some of the signings we had for Chelsea, they've been, they've been like, well, they call them agents, haven't they?
Right.
You know what I mean? Jorginho has
agents from another team.
Jorginho has surprised us. He's been the cog in there. I thought
one of his best games was against Chelsea.
Yeah, I think he's a very, very good player. Skillful. I think we need him for another. He's experienced. I would give Jorginho a 7.
Brilliant. Okay, let's move on to Fabio Vieira.
Fabio Vieira, he's a Portuguese. We brought him in from Porto, I think a couple of seasons ago. I think he's about 23. Obviously, he's talented. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But the Premiership at the moment is too big for him.
Do you think so? How old is he?
About 23, 24.
Oh.
23.
Yeah.
So he's got a bit of time, but he does need to put on a bit of weight. He just hasn't really settled in. The game times he's had, it just hasn't been. His performances overall of the season hasn't been good enough. And he just seems to get too lightweight, easily shoved off the ball. Yeah, gives at the end of the day, technically, if he's got time, he's technically good. But anyone's good when they got top on the ball.
He's very true.
I'm disappointed. I'd give him a 5.
5. He hasn't had much game time. He's come on. All right, let's move on to Leonardo Trossard.
I think this guy is I like Leonardo Trossard. I think the best is yet to come from him.
Yeah, I think he's superb.
He's 28 years old. Very experienced Belgium international. Both left-footed and right-footed.
Yeah. Must come inside, doesn't he?
I think he's... me personally, I think he should be playing more. I think he's a very passionate player. And I think, from what I heard from when we signed him from Brighton, he's got a bit of He's got a bit of a temper on him as well.
Yeah.
Aggressive. He's like a quiet assassin, but
Yeah.
I think he's a superb player at the end of the day. Now, I think he deserves to start more. When he plays, Arsenal play.
Brilliant. And what's your rating for him?
I would give him, I think he's superb. I give him a 9.
That's quite high, actually. That's quite high. That's a high rating. That's very, very good. Let's just move on to Reece Nelson.
Reece Nelson has done well. He's
Scored some important goals.
He's the Arsenal Academy player.
Yeah.
This guy was the wonder kid for Arsenal, going back obviously, through the Arsenal Academy. Reece Nelson. I think this guy, every time I see him play, he reminds me of David Rocastle.
Wow. He's that good?
He reminds me of David Rocastle. Probably, obviously, got a bit to learn. Not as good as Rocastle, but very similar player.
Skillful.
Dummies and very quick and direct, like Rocastle. I like him, and he's improved. I hope he stays. He's improved.
Still only
23, 22, 23, something like that. 23, I believe. Reece Nelson. I would give him a 7.
Okay, that's absolutely brilliant. And Jesus.
Jesus is a funny one, really. Jesus is a 26 years old.
Yeah.
Ex-Man City striker. I think he's still got a. I think there's still a bit to improve with in his game.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt this guy's got a high ceiling.
The thing is, as well, is that I didn't think he scores enough goals. That's from I think he's skillful. I would like to see him score 25 to 30 goals this season. If he reached that mark at the end of the day, I think he'll do superb. Sometimes you want in the box and he goes out on the right wing. But one thing he does do, he does make room for Gabriel Martinelli.
I think Gabriel Jesus' technical ability. It seems to me what I've seen of him, his ceiling's high.
Yeah,
But I think with him, he can. He just needs sometimes to keep it simple.
Yeah, I agree.
Keep it simple and make those runs into the box. I'm going to listen, I think Gabriel Jesus is one of the most technical players, Brazilian players I've seen in a long time. And I think he can go to the next level.
Yeah, and what's your rating on him?
I would give him, not just the highest one, I give him an 8.
Right, well done. I was just said that's about right. Bukayo Saka.
This guy carries Arsenal on his back. This guy carries Arsenal on his back. I think he's a superb player.
And
I think at
England international.
I think at 21 years old, for what he's been through, at 21 years old, missing a penalty in the Euros in 2021.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and obviously he's carried at 21 to carry Arsenal on his back. He's empathises what Arsenal is about. He's an Arsenal player. This guy's going to be a legend at the end of the day, and yeah, he's run out of steam a little bit, but he's come up, and this is the guy which has come up in the big games.
Yeah, and what's your ratings?
I'm giving him a 10.
A 10, wow. So Bukayo Saka has a 10. So that was Alex the Gunner. Don't forget to subscribe and support him. Don't forget to subscribe and support him. If we've missed a player, we're going to do something on Granit Xaka in basically the next video. This is a special on Granit Xaka, so we haven't forgotten about him. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamlight Entertainment. Thank you. Bye. No, the time is running out.